this is Eliza of Tres Marias. Welcome to my channel. In this video, we will watch the American Tongues Episode 4, Dialect Road Trip. The video will feature 3 dialects. First, the dialect in Kentucky, second in Ohio, and third in Texas. Let's see the differences of these 3 in terms of utterances, pronunciation, diction, or on how people speak their own dialect. And let's also try to compare their dialect with our own dialect. Well, I live in Iloilo, so I use the Hiligaynon dialect. And I also try to compare Hiligaynon with these 3 dialects. So, are you ready? Without further ado, let's watch the video.
It isn't just that we speak differently. Take a trip across the United States today and you begin to notice something else about the way Americans talk. Our speech reveals how we deal with the world, whether we beat around the bush or get straight to the point. The more you listen, the more you realize how our ways of speaking relate to how we live our lives.
And good morning and welcome into the Marketplace program on this Tuesday morning. I'm Ricky Campbell with you. Good morning, Marketplace.
Hello. I have a Ringer Maytag washer I'd like to sell, and I want $125 for it.
I've got a General Electric Frigidaire. It's a real good one. Runs good for sale. And I've got a nice 5-year-old saddle horse.
It's me again, Ricky. I forgot to put my mustard greens. I got plenty of pretty mustard. Anyone wants it?
No, I just don't talk like Buckeyes or, or Detroit or stuff like that. I don't talk Southern, but I'm just a plain old hillbilly.
You can tell people from this part of Kentucky from anywhere else in the world, or I can, if you really listen to it. I thought this is the way everybody talked till I went in the Navy and everybody talked funny to me, and then I got to realizing it was me that was different than the rest of them.
Miss Caesar,
40. These will all be in the boxes now. I'll be a run from $30 to $40.
how much you say you want for these dresses?
The subtle cultural overtones of this dialect remain among Appalachian people. It's culture expressing itself in sound, and it involves rhythms, pause, tonal qualities, and so forth. They themselves could not articulate it or identify it, but it's there. You hear it as an outsider.
These look like they fit him.
Because this pointed toe, you've got to have a half a size. You need a half a size larger. See, if he's buying something like this right here in square-toed, he make it wear it in 8 1/2.
There's a strong emphasis in Appalachia upon the integrity of the individual. This means then that one talks far around a subject before he hits it.
How you feel? Pretty good?
I feel good. I'm a little tired. We've been campaigning a lot. We've been out on the trail for the last 2 months.
I want you to sign a personal note for me, let's say. I go and we interact socially. We might sit on our heels and whittle and pick our teeth with grass stems and tell stories for half an hour before I finally let it be known that I have come to have you sign this note for me. This is typical of the way we interact among ourselves. I think still is.
I do appreciate it.
Now, I can't bring these back if I don't fit.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, we seem to be here, the median, and then everybody else seems to be either above or below. When they say Midwest, to me it means middle everything. It's mid-level. You want to find the basic America or the yardstick, it's kind of right in here. We're straight American, we're bland. We're just the normal stuff right here. Right out of the dictionary. No accents, no colloquialisms, no uniqueness, just kind of straight English.
They say the Republicans got all the money, but the Democrats is doing all the goddamn advertising. Huh?
And I bought an ad.
Yeah, every Democrat running for city council or whatever is in the goddamn football bulletin, and they're in the Republican. We got
They don't have
two losses.
They don't have the money. They don't have the money to get the ads. You know,
We're always in here. There's a gang of us always in. About 7:30 every morning.
What do you talk about?
Everything. Boy, I'll tell you, we if there's a conversation, we got it. It isn't always good, but we always got a conversation of something.
There's occasionally that sense that when you mention Columbus, Ohio, or say Ohio, they immediately presume that you're talking to them from the phone extension in the hog barn. Well, those of us who live in the central part of this state, we will say, no, we don't talk funny in Columbus, but if you want to hear funny, go about 70 miles due south. And I'm sure there's this gnawing suspicion that they're saying the same thing up in Cleveland about us.
Well, you know how it is. I think Texans are pretty obvious to tell, I guess.
What do you think's the most obvious thing about the Texans?
The way they talk.
I think that most Westerners, in their speaking, feel like they're being more open, more forthright, more trustworthy. I think that Westerners feel about their speech sort of the way they do about their social rules and things. You're supposed to come out and let everybody see and hear, and you're not supposed to hide anything. And I know that's true of Texans.
I want to tell you what you need to do about your cow dogs. Well, you stand here at that pole. Let me tell you, them cow dogs supposed to work behind the cow.
Yeah.
And these work right in front.
Stupid.
Huh?
They're stupid.
Did you train them?
I train them, I'm stupid.
Another thing about Texas, you very seldom will encounter that Maine approach, nah or yah. They'll bend your ear. In fact, I've seen it happen more than just a dozen or two times. I've seen it happen with a rather constant frequency. You're driving down a little country road, and here are two pickup trucks, and they're two guys that see each other at least once a day, but they're talking there, and you pull up in front or behind, and you got to give them a little time to break off their conversation. And sometimes they'll pull out and let you by, and you look in your rearview mirror, and they're back to talking again. See,
John Henry, you a dog trainer? You need to every day train those dogs. It's just like going to a football game. If a coach hadn't coached them before he got to the game, they don't need trying to coach them after you get there.
We can see that the dialects in each cities vary so much, though they all are just the same English language. Why is that so? Well, first, let's discuss the dialect in Kentucky. The people in Kentucky has a thick accent, and there is this rhythm that is so unique to foreigners. Especially if you just get in there for the first time, you'd really say that, wow, they're like singing. And as mentioned in the video, people in Kentucky love telling stories. For me, this is like in the ancient times, an old way of communication. Compared to my Hiligaynon dialect, the dialect in Kentucky has a thicker accent, and they speak a little fast, with their tongues curled as they marvel over sentences that are quite difficult to understand for non-native English speakers. But I love how they tell stories. It's actually my first time hearing an American speak like this, because ever since I was a kid, I was taught that Americans speak direct to the point, like they speak straightforward. But as watched in the video, the people in Kentucky is an exemption. Next is the dialect in Ohio. As watched in the video, the people there speaks natural English. They're so light and comfortable as they speak. Not much intonation, more on reduction, and just common English that we usually hear on movies. Just the common English in an English country that even non-native speakers, just as me, can understand. The last is the dialect in Texas. As watched in the video, the people in Texas are so straightforward that they would speak whatever's on their head. Unlike in my country, in the Philippines, as I have observed, most Filipinos would speak nice words to someone, not to offend that person, even though it's pretty obvious that the situation is not right. But still, Filipinos would say the opposite just to make the situation right. Well, I think it's good, but for me, an honest rebuke is better than a sugar-coated lie. But this doesn't apply to all, just to some people. We can conclude that our dialect affects us. The way we speak speaks of who we are, of how we behave as we speak, of how we move our eyes, the number of times we smile and wink. Our dialects also reflects our culture, and it is important to preserve it for the next generations to know their roots and appreciate simple things in life. Let's embrace our dialect, and let's also be understanding to other societies whose dialect sounds a little strange to us. You see, there is beauty in every dialect, and it is in us how we see it. The more we understand our dialect or our language, the more we see its importance and relevance to the ancient times, how our ancestors fought for it, that even now it's still alive, and we are still using it and making it known to the world. I am Eliza of Tres Marias, a proud Filipina, a beautiful soul, and a humble servant of Christ Jesus. Thank you for watching.